Hello folks, welcome to G4G on YouTube. I'm Napalm Dawn, and today we're going to take a look at Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux Beta 2. Now, I'm going to start off this video literally just several seconds into the video, explaining things very clearly, very slowly, for all the people in the cheap seats. Don't want to see these questions in the comments, and this is a serious important part of this. In order for Beta 2 to work, you must have Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux Alpha 5, which was the last version of the alpha produced before it started being called a beta, and you must have Beta 1 applied. So again, to reiterate, this is going to be on the test, people. Make a fucking mental note. You must have Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux Alpha 5 installed, then patch it to Beta 1, then patch it to Beta 2. Again, no, I'm not saying it. Okay. So, super clear about that. You have to get Alpha 5, drop it in a folder, do all the proper extractions. Don't even bother running it because you're not going to save any games because you need to delete the saves. So don't even bother running Alpha 5. Just extract it properly. Then do patch Beta 1. And then do patch Beta 2, which will be linked in the description. Before we get any further, another thing that we need to talk about before we go deeper into the video. As important as it is to know how to get to beta patch 2, there is no mobile fucking version of the game. I hope that's really nice and clear for the translator who, whatever language you're translating this video into or watching it in English, there is no mobile version of this game. For fuck's sake, I'm so tired of seeing it in the comments. No matter how clear I can make it, there is no mobile version. iOS version, as has been beaten to death, you can't even get, because you would need to jailbreak an iOS device to get it on there so that you could sideload the IPA. Android devices are more easy to sideload. However, this is not compiled for mobile. I have experimented with trying to get this to work on mobile, and it works up to a certain point, likely because Android uses different absolute pathing than Windows, and the pathing in this version is designed to work on a Windows file structure, not Android. You can go back several videos ago on my channel in terms of Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux videos, and you can see the results of me attempting to test it. I tested it for the people who want Android versions of it. That's as far as it's going to go. Don't ask if it's going to come out. Don't ask if this version's going to work on mobile. Don't ask if Thor comes down from Asgard himself and threatens to smite the dev unless he makes a mobile version. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and discuss on what needs to be done in order to get the game up to beta patch 2. So my Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux Alpha 5, that is a mouthful, has already been patched up to beta 1. You could see that in the beta 1 video on my channel. What you'll need to do is go ahead and download beta patch 2, which is what this one is right here. You can see it's called 1119. Now, if you have 7-zip, which is what I recommend, you'll have a context menu in your Windows Explorer. You can right-click it and pick 7-zip extract here. However, before we go into this, because I have alright, there's beta patch 1. Since I have saves already, what you need to do when you go from patch 1 to patch 2, you need to delete the saves. That is because the saves are going to be incompatible. So just go ahead and wipe that out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take beta patch 2, I'm going to drop it inside the Alpha 5 folder, and I'm going to do extract here. If you have 7-zip and you're doing what I'm doing, everything will work out perfectly. It should come up and say, do you want to overwrite? You say yes to all. Now you'll notice nothing changed over here. Yes, the patch moved up, but all the folders stayed the same. All the files generally stayed the same. That means you've done it correctly. So again, look at my file structure over here. Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux 0.5, and then in this folder with Adobe Air, Battle Images, etc., just do this and extract here. 7-zip is free. You have no reason not to get it. If you're like, well, Napalm, I use this, I use that. Okay, great. Google 7-zip, download it from the source, install it. This way you can follow along exactly with me, and then everything will work. Now, it finally seems like MAA Redux.exe has an icon. Really cool. Better than the generic paper thing. So, let's get into beta patch 2. You'll notice there are no saves, and that's because I wiped out the save folder. So we're going to go to Start Game. Loading character data. This, if it pauses here, it's because you didn't do what I told you to do. That's the answer to your question. If you're like, it sits at loading this and loading that and blah, 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 it means you didn't follow my instructions. And again, what is it, boys and girls? What are the instructions? Get Alpha 5, extract everything in Alpha 5, get Beta Patch 1, extract Beta Patch 1 into the Alpha 5 directory. When it asks if you want to overwrite stuff, say yes. When that's done, extract Beta Patch 2 in the Alpha 5 directory. When it says, do you want to overwrite stuff over there? You say yes again. And then you will be at this screen. If you are on Windows and you're doing everything properly, I guarantee it. If you're on Linux, maybe a little bit different. If you're on Mac, maybe a little bit different. But if you're on Mac emulating Windows, you should be here. Not stuck at loading this or stuck at loading that. You're going to be here. Now, the thing is, will we have the slow animations like some people are getting? I'm going to guess no. But we'll take a look at that in just a moment. So I'm going to scroll through some hairs. You know what? Let's do a Reed Richards. Let's dedicate this video to having a Reed... it's a young Reed Richards. Yeah, we'll go with this one. So we have Agent Reed Richards. So, here we are at MA Redux, Beta Patch 2. We're at the typical helicarrier screen over here. We're going to hit Collect All several times to build up some resources. You have a nice click sound going on. We know we can't visit. So we're going to go ahead and go to Research. Research is beginning to look a little bit more flushed out. Things are properly named. It looks like we have some prices. The prices are all the same. Kind of generic. So let's just pick, see what happens. Yeah, can't do anything about grenades. However... oh... well, I could click, but it's not letting me type, which is fine. Alright, can't change tabs. These are the things that I like to break and see what happens. So, interestingly enough, it is blanked out for the beginning too of all screens. Okay, so there's research. And it looks like the X to get out of it is still not working. And the other buttons don't work to get out of it. Okay, so back we go. We will relaunch it. However, my game will be there. Window position still not saving. That's a little minor point over there. That's nothing super major, but some people might get annoyed if they place it in the right spot, and then it constantly moves. So we've looked at research. We're going to now go ahead and look at the store. Store is looking pretty good. However, the blinking cursor means coding. Very famous coding phrase, hello world. It is a way of getting a mail server to see if it recognizes you or not. So, little piece of trivia over here. You always get to learn in my videos. So, alright, boys and girls, get your learn on with Uncle Napalm. Way back in the day, we're talking in the days of VAX and VMS, typical mail servers on campuses in the middle to late 90s when the internet was starting to flourish. You could log into what's called a mail reserver, or essentially a entry point to certain systems, their mail, certain servers, their mail systems. And if you typed in hello A, no matter what you logged in as, if it responded back to you hello A, it means it doesn't know you by your login name. It knows you by the name you specified. So you could play a practical joke on somebody and send them an email from God@heaven.com, or Satan@hell.com, or let's be seasonal, Santa Claus at Christmasvillage.com. Even though that wasn't a real entity, even though that's where you were not sending the mail from, it was a remailer, so you could fake your friends out by sending them mail that way. Early form of spoofing. Obviously it exists now in spam mail, but interesting way of doing early mail spoofing in the beginning days of the internet. So sometimes hello world or hello A was the way that you would announce yourself to these remailer servers. So store isn't doing much, but the X works. So we need to get the working X from store over to research. Team, crucial spot over here, because this is where our people are. So the agent and the 3 of the Avengers are available. We're going to go ahead and recruit a fairly basic character. So because I'm a little political shit at times, and the fact that Elizabeth Banks is blaming sexism for the failure of the Charlie's Angels movies currently, and the fact that when it is brought up about Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, that she still said they're male-oriented movies because there's a comic movies. So in honor of you, Elizabeth Banks and Charlie's Angels, we are going to recruit Miss Marvel, because that's a hot topic. I also want to recruit magic, because I love me some magic. I'm going to recruit me Psylocke. We'll get Havoc. And then we're going to go backwards, and we're going to get some really high-level people. And let's get Phyla-Vell, because we did not recruit her ever. And specifically for Darth Plato, as a nice little punerific joke, we're going to recruit, as soon as I find him, Burb, Beta Ray Bill, because this is a beta video. So, there you go. And one of Beta Ray Bill's favorite friends, Carolina Dean, and another one of Burb's favorite friends, Electro. Me and the boys on Saturday night. So there we go. We've got a memeage, some standards, and some news. So let's also recruit basic Captain America. And we've made a sprite disappear. Damn it. Okay. I'm gonna close out. I think what it is, Captain America's got so many uniforms, it's very easy to bug the sprite out when you go through his, but it's loading fairly quickly for me, so I don't mind restarting a whole bunch. Let's see, too many. What are we gonna do? For old time's sake, let's recruit him and then get Bruiser, Haruki's Iron Fist. Okay. We all know what a threat this guy used to be. And one more. Let's recruit War Machine, and let's give him Pepsi can. Now you'll notice I don't have to buy the uniform, at least as of right now. So, we have a lot of variety over here. We definitely have some teams. PvP we know doesn't work. Simulator we know doesn't work. So we're going to go to mission. We are going to go to Season 1 and check out Season 2. So that looks good. Info and info blinking. Coming soon. Spec Ops. So, I got to do... Here's some more trivia for you guys. I got to do a lot of research on Spec Ops 1 through 19 because I was using the Avengers Alliance wiki to talk about the heroic battles, the deploys, the high threats, the low threats, etc. For the most part, within the first 19 Spec Ops, there were several things that I learned. Mostly in Mission 3, there are no low threats. And mostly in each of the Spec Ops, there are 5 deploys per mission of the Spec Ops. So, like, on this one, it'd be a 555. Just interesting statistics. It was very interesting to see, generally, how uniform Playdom kept their shit through these Spec Ops is over here. Now, obviously, X-Men versus Avengers, there were some differences there. And, of course, one of the other super ones that gets really messed up, and you all know it's coming. I mean, Murder World over here was also a bit unique. That one did some different things. Here was, I think, the first one to feature a 4th. And that one is, of course, the infamous Split Path one. As soon as we go back to 16. So we do see that the missions, even though the special operation name doesn't change, the missions are changing down here. Close works. Okay, but anyway, mission. Let's go to Season 1. We'll start off easy on the first level. So we've got a low threat over here. Oh, my agent's gear. Ah, you almost got me. You almost fooled me there. Equip and equip don't work. However, you go to actions. So, okay, that was interesting. We know we want to leave the bolt action 4 here. It is very, very powerful. As of right now, do not mess with any of the golden guns. Golden guns are always scaled based off of your level, and if you're going to be level 1, they're not really going to do anything. That is a grenade launcher, something? A phosphorus pang. Spirit 76 we're going to take out, and... let's see. I don't think that's Chem Cannon. Is that the Iron Man one? Unipulse. Okay. Alright, so we'll go with the Phosphorus Pang, the Unipulse, Katana, and the Bolt Action 4. Again, I highly recommend you leave the Bolt Action 4 in there, because it does a lot of damage. So, now that my agent is set up, let's go for... Yikes. Screen no worky. Infiltrator, Bruiser, Infiltrator. That's... I don't know who I'm going to get here. Okay, crashed it. Back in. By the way, if you do have... First of all, watch this video to see the bugs that obviously seem obvious and are being viewed over here, because Goofy is going to watch this video, so he'll learn about these bugs. Don't bother reporting the bugs that I find, but if you find ones that aren't being covered in this video, you can do it in a specific channel on our Discord or on Reddit. So, oh, wow. I have screwed up the select screen. I think This middle one might be the known issue. I think I saw a putty tat. No, I think I saw somebody talking about that on Discord earlier. And I think something also went super scurry when they changed the agent. Now, if you remember in the live game, or the old live game, if you changed the agent by clicking his position, he was forced somewhere else. So, you know, you always had to have the agent unless you were on a special mission. Okay. Alright, let's give this combat a try. I mean, these two do have synergy with each other over here, so... reasonable incoming damage. Let's see the outgoing damage. Alright, 58, that's good. Oh, yeah, 13, 14, not bad. There's a sound that I miss. Sometimes what you miss most about the game is the whole package of something in particular. That sound and that movement from Pepsi Can, I truly do miss that one. That was... I liked that combo. Yeah, okay, Unipulse isn't doing too bad. Iron Man's damage isn't too bad. You know, so here's another thing. People think like, oh, is it slow? And it's slow on my computer and blah, blah. Well, first of all, you should really have at least 4 gigs of dedicated RAM. So if you say to me, well, I have a laptop with 4 gigs of RAM, doesn't that work? No, it doesn't. The reason being is that the system, be it the applications for your laptop, so if you're a Dell or Alienware related apps, if you have a Razer, you know, Razer apps, Lenovo, there's another one with a bunch of baked in apps. Windows itself and the apps from the laptop manufacturer consume part of that 4 gigs. So you don't actually have 4 gigs of RAM, you have about 3 or maybe 2.89. You would at least, to cover that, you would at least want 6 to 8 on any device that you would run this, simply because this is Flash. Flash is not the most optimized thing in the world. And again, before we get into other things over here, because this is another thing that I feel I need to explain. Thanks for reminding myself, Napalm. Yeah, no problem, buddy. This game is Marvel Avengers Alliance the way that it died in the end of September of 2016. What you see is, for the most part, the code base when the game died. There are things that Goofy has to reconstruct and reconfigure, and he has to remove server calls, and he's building it a lot from the ground up. However, this game is essentially intended to be like October of 2016, November of 2016, etc. Yes, we have to go back and do some things in the timeline again, like Spec Ops 1, PvP 1, 2, Covert Ops, all that kind of stuff. But he is not attempting to reinvent the wheel. He is not attempting to change the whole code base of the game and move it to Unreal Engine or JavaScript or ActionScript or Unity or anything like that. He's taking the game as it existed back then and he's redoing it. So I want to give you an example. You look on the Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist somewhere and you see a 1968 Camaro SS, and you're like, man, I love the movie Better Off Dead. I want a black 68 Camaro SS to put on fat rear tires, hidden headlights, and everything like that. I love that car so much in that movie, I want one for myself. So you go out there, out into the bumfucking country near you, and you find some little old lady with a farm, and a 68 Camaro SS in the barn, and you open the barn doors, and there's all these cobwebs around it and everything, and the seats have ripped vinyl, but you see like it's a stick shift, and there's the steering wheel and the original radios, and she's like, I'll sell it to you for $3,000, and you're like, oh my god, and you buy the car. That's what Goofy is doing. He's purchased a 68 Camaro. He's going to restore the tires. He's going to restore the radio without putting in a modern radio with Sirius XM in it. He's not changing the locks to power locks. He's not changing the windows to power windows. He's going to tune the engine, and he's going to use all original parts as much as he can. He's going to polish the Chevy logo. He is restoring a 1968 Camaro SS to be street worthy. There are some things maybe he can't get anymore because it's not manufactured by GM anymore. So, you know, maybe the brakes, he's going to put on disc brakes or something. But he's essentially reviving the game from how it died. By the way, I've seen 2 Melee moments so far where the font has been tiny as compared to the other fonts, so that might be something. That's what he's doing. He literally went into a barn of the internet, found a file with as many of the assets as he has now, and he's rebuilding that 1968 SS Marvel Avengers Alliance the way that it was. He's not getting a 2019 Camaro with a V8 and a Sirius XM radio in there and power windows. That's not what we're doing. We're not reinventing the wheel. Or I should say, Goofy isn't reinventing the wheel. He's taking the game as it existed then, and he's just doing what he... Woof. Yep. That wasn't working. Alright, let's... Oh, okay, we're back. Let's do the Whiplash one. That's what he's doing. So, saying things like, oh, why doesn't he redo it in this, and why doesn't he redo it in that, and, you know, it's 2025, can't we go off a Flash already and everything? No, that's not the intent of this project. If you have that capability to do that, by all means, download the game, go looking at the code, rip out the assets, take Iron Man out, take Hulk out, take Iron Fist out, take Phyla-Vell out, take Adam Warlock, build your own Marvel game, and get fucking sued when somebody finds out about it. Sorry it sounds crass as shit. Sorry it sounds like I'm pissed off. But absolutely, you do you. You want to take this wheel and you want to reinvent it, and you want to put some white walls on it and get a BF Goodrich stencil on it, and you want different all-terrain treads on there. Go right ahead. You are welcome to do you. But Goofy is doing this. He's doing what you see in front of him because that's the legacy of the game. And nothing else. If you want to compare World of Warcraft Classic that follows what Vanilla did compared to a World of Warcraft Vanilla private server that lets you play ogres or fucking Kristen Stewart from Twilight on there if you wanted to, or Interview with a Vampire Lestat and have a whole bunch of level 60 Lestats running around because that's cool and hip. Fine. That's that private server, but Blizzard's doing Classic. We're doing Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux. End of story. So, let's pick somebody else. There we go. There's one for you, Elizabeth Banks. And let's do Hawkeye. I'm just kind of keeping it first page for now. Just get another working combat over here. So, hit point targeting still works. Action bar targeting still works. I must say I feel like the damage is a bit better this time around, and I feel like it's a more even fight between enemies and friendlies. Wow. Wow. Miss Marvel bringing the heat. Whew. Now, and there's the loud. Well, it's not. It's louder. It's not super loud, but I'm gonna leave it for a second because... Damn it! Did I recruit too many characters? No! Hey! Beta Ray Bill! Alright, so maybe Elektra will be here? Oh, yes. Alright, so there's that small font again. I think melee attacks are using a smaller font than ranged right now. There's a nice sound. There's a fun sound. Bolt action doesn't have a sound. That Stormbreaker's pretty good. So my animations seem pretty solid. I'm not seeing anything particularly crazy over here. Alright. Looking pretty good. Tink, tink. A little slow. Alright, little bit of slowness on the Thunderstruck. I'd say the animation got a tiny bit ahead of the sound as the hammer was coming back. Okay, so the deploy seems to be working. Let's change things up a little bit. We'll have to do a guessing game, so that's probably going to be Phyla. That's going to be nobody. Uh-oh. I borked it. No, okay, there's Phyla. That's interesting. And let's go back to page 1 and do swords. There we go. I want to do magic and Psylocke, because those are two characters that I really miss from this game. Yep, small font, 38. But then that one's big. Let's take a look at the katana. Interesting. Some of the melee has small fonts, but some of the melee doesn't. I wonder what the deal is. Maybe it's a subset of melee, like just slashing or just bleeding attacks or something. Let's actually do this. Yeah, God, do I miss magic. Oh, that was weak. Let's hit him with the bolt action. Ooh. Somebody bled out in the background over there. Okay, so the deploy was completed. It says there's a team up with Iron Man, but we might be able to... I think... Yeah, it looks like we got away with not teaming up with Iron Man over here. So that's a bit of a bug. Unleash Hell. Pretty solid damage, but we know there's not going to be a debuff there. Pretty solid damage out of the Unipulse. Okay. Interesting. So we were able to do a Iron Man specific battle without Iron Man. We cheated. Up, up, down, down, left, right, ABA start. Let's see what happens with the Spec Ops. No, okay, let's see what happens with Season 2. Sugar Man. Alright, it crashed. Let's see what happens if we go right to Season 2. I like the screen, but I want a little bit more out of the background. Like, I want something more out of the white. Alright. And, okay, so we got to deploy specific for Cyclops. Oh, these guys. Alright. Let's see if I can find Psylocke. So I'm going to guess Psylocke will be up here. Havoc. Getting close. Psylocke was after Havoc, so let's say she was here. Nope. Carolina Dean and Beta Ray Bill. Let's try this slot then. Oh, damn. Psylocke was before Havoc. Okay. Alright, so Team Slice and Dice. So that's an Infiltrator. That's a Scrapper. That Scrapper, if combat was working all the way, would have gotten double hits off of Psylocke. You know, I was this day old when I realized that's what the SC and the IN and everything meant. It was when I was researching Spec Ops 1 through 19. I'm like, SC Gamma. Oh, it's their class designation. I'm sorry. Call me fucking stupid. And I would absolutely agree with you. It's one of those major duh moments that I never really made the connection, or if I did make the connection back when the game was live, I have just kind of forgotten about it. By the way, Magic would get 2 attacks off of that because it's an infiltrator, but yeah. I was like, oh, infiltrator, SC scrapper, BR Gam, alright, bruiser, yeah. I'm an absolute genius. So now I don't own Doctor Strange, but apparently I can still deploy Doctor Strange. TA, Tactician Delta. See? I mean, there you go. Well, I'm a genius. These were slightly annoying mobs. They weren't the worst mobs in the game. They weren't psychic dinos. But these guys were a little bit annoying at times. Especially when they went into frenzies and got too many moves. Or they did meltdown and you were like low on health. You know, BA Delta, the Blaster Delta. I'm a genius and I'm okay. Alright. Whoa, things really opened up now. So this is interesting. I'm allowed to pick one of the 2 infiltrators that I have unlocked. So it knows that I have infiltrators and it's suggesting them, but I was able to deploy Doctor Strange that I don't own. Doctor Strange is everywhere he needs to be. That's yikes. I wanted to exit out to the map. Let's get this one down here and see if I can actually, what happens with that incursion. Actually, let's get him with the Phosphorus Pang. Or let's... Oh, I did the breaky spray. Okay. So it looks like I crashed the game again. I picked the katana, then I picked the Pang, and it says I swung a katana at everybody, and I'm getting galaxy sparkles. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the video over here. Here's Beta 2. Again, I'll reiterate from the beginning of video, in order to get Beta 2 to work, you need to have Alpha 5. You need to patch Alpha 5 to Beta 1, and then you need to patch Beta 1 to Beta 2. You have to do it in line. Beta 2 does not include Beta 1's fixes. That will change when we're looking at a release candidate where patches will properly take care of all of the previous patch work, but we're not there yet. Goofy's not there yet. That's release candidate level stuff. We're still obviously working out a lot of kinks, but even from Beta 1 to 2, that's still a lot of progression. And I'm sure the community is happy to see constant releases. So, since I've gone ahead and called out some specific situations in this video, to the person from way back in between Alpha 4 and Alpha 5, when there was a long gap, and there were reasons for that gap, I'm not getting into them again, but they're out there. You can talk to Goofy about it. He'll tell you. But to those people in between 4 and 5 who called this stuff fake, called it a sham, called it a bamboozle, said 5 was never coming out, we're never going to have the right progress, the game's never going to be what it used to be, I'll just go ahead and leave you guys that used to think that with one tiny little sentence before I close out the video, and that is, go fuck yourself. And that's all I have to say about that. Enjoy Beta 2, everybody. Everybody.